Hi guys, this is Shrimler Carlos, and in today's video I'm going to give you my review of episode 6 of season 1 of The Big Bang Theory, The Painted Fellowship, and a drunk cat from a drunk cat of Middle Earth. So here we go, guys. I love this episode. And guys, this has to be my top 3, yes, in my top 2 favorites. It's my second favorite episode of season 1 of The Big Bang Theory. And you will soon find out why I put the title that I put. So this wonderful episode begins with the guys coming, Sheldon, Leonard, Raj, and Howard coming into the apartment building, into Sheldon and Leonard's and Penny's apartment building from a paintball match slash game, and of course, Sheldon is complaining that the rest of the team, comprising of Leonard, Sheldon, of Leonard, Raj, and Howard, basically betrayed him and eventually got beat by the rival team of now, guys, I can't remember the rival team name's leader, but I know the team was assembled because of a forbidden, I can't pronounce it, but to all my Jewish friends, you know what I'm talking about. When you guys have your 13 when you turn 13 and you have a big giant party, awesome party. And that's the word that I can't pronounce. But anyway, that I can't quite pronounce as well as I thought. But anyway, Sheldon is blaming the guys that because of their dopiness, they lost the match. Then we see Penny, heading to work, and she tells the guys that I'm going to have a Halloween party tonight / today, and then of course the guys are excited, but mostly Howard, because it's Howard we're talking about, and Howard is the romantic, the so-called the so-called, according to him, the love Jedi of this wonderful quartet. And of course, Sheldon and Leonard are like, Penny, thank you for the offer, but we are not good with parties. We're not good with parties. We're just not into the party atmosphere, into the party wave. until Penny says, "Come on, it's going to be fun. It's going to be. We're going to. It's a Halloween party, guys. Everyone is going to be wearing costumes." Then Sheldon and Leonard and Rod and Howard Perk start, are jumping for joy inside of themselves because it's a very unique opportunity to let their full nerd out, and to be more specific, to be more specific, guys, Sheldon Sheldon asked Penny, what can our costumes be from the MCU, historical figures, movies, anime, a exact or an attempt of explaining a scientific real life thing, real life motion, or scientific thing. And of course Penny says, yes, anything you want. Then the guys go upstairs to Sheldon and Leonard's apartment, and that's how this wonderful episode starts. Then the guys didn't have a meeting, a costume meeting. So everyone, Leonard, Sheldon, Howard, and Raj are all dressed up as the fastest dude alive besides Superman, and that of course is the Flash. So Howard, Raj, and Leonard and Sheldon are all dressed up as the Flash. And of course Sheldon is like, guys, see why we needed to have a costume meeting? Then before you know it, Leonard calls dibs on Frodo, on a Frodo costume. And then the guys say, damn! Then Sheldon and Raj say, and Howard say, damn. But before Leonard says dibs on Frodo, on a second option costume of Frodo for himself, Raj comes up with a very cool idea for them to all keep their Flash costumes on and pretend that one of them is the Flash. Meanwhile, the other Flashes are the four reflection. Meanwhile, the other three are the three speed reflections of said Flash. But even though that was a cool idea, they didn't go with it. Raj's cool idea was shut down like a stormtrooper's body, body when it's inside when it's trapped in the cold planet of Hoth. So Leonard ended up beating Frodo, being Frodo from of course Lord of the Rings. Raj became Thor, the real Thor, not the MCU Thor or Marvel Thor, the actual Norse god named Thor, Norse god from Norway, from ancient Norway folktales, Thor. Meanwhile, Sheldon was the Doppler effect. Now, guys, I don't know a lot about science, but the Doppler effect is the way that you measure a speeding of how fast a sound comes through the airwaves, comes through or squeezing in through the middle of an area, like for example a living room. Meanwhile, Howard was either Peter Pan or Robin Hood. And here's why I say either, because when Ron sees Howard dressed up as Peter Pan, Howard says, "No, I'm Robin Hood," and then Thor, Norse god Rod says, "No, dude. I have seen the movie Peter Pan starring Kathy Rigby, and dude, you look just like her, dressed like Kathy Rigby, like she was in Peter Pan. So you're Peter Pan." And then the guys go across the hall and knock on Penny's door. Of course, Penny's not dressed up yet in her costume, because none of her friends or none of her guests have gotten in, are not there yet, even though Penny said be there at 7. So, but the guys were like, we will be here at 7. And of course, according to Penny, any type of party doesn't exactly start at the time set by the invitation. So the guys are come in into Penny's apartment with no one there except for them, and of course Penny with no costume yet, without her costume yet. And of course Sheldon says, is there going to be a costume contest, and of course Penny says, "Sorry, Sheldon, there's not going to be a costume contest with no judges, and of course Sheldon says in his Sheldonian way that this party's going to suck. going to suck the blood out of me, and I'm going to be born. And he wasn't wrong because when when Penny's gas arrived, besides them, the guys weren't socializing. To be more specific, Leonard wanted to socialize with Penny's friends. First of all, because he wanted to be a part of Penny's friend group. Besides being a part of his current group of friends, which again are Robin Hood, Thor, and the Doppler effect, meaning Sheldon, Raj, and Howard. And Leonard said before the party, before they went across the hall, he told Sheldon not to embarrass him, and not to say to Penny's friends that his middle name is Leaky, is Leaky, because of his father's work colleague, Dr. Leaky. And of course, Sheldon says, don't be ashamed of your middle name, Leaky. It just implies that your dad was good friends with his colleague, Dr. Leaky. It doesn't necessarily mean that you were extremely past wet person, meaning that you had accidents in your bed when you were a little kid. But either way, Leonard was like, don't bring it up. And also, then this is where it gets funny. Since Leonard wasn't being social with Penny's other guests in their friend group, he wasn't being social, and he asked Sheldon, how can I be social? How can I be social with Penny's friends / guests? And then Sheldon was like, I might be able to help with this. I might be able to help you with this, Leonard, because I picked up just like Jane Goodall was able to study the language of gorillas, the language of gorillas. I did too. I did the same thing with Penny's with Penny's guest / friend group at this party. It all starts with the new member saying with the new member, meaning you, Leonard, of the group, coming into the group, saying, how tipsy, how wasted am I? And then the group would say, dude, and that's how much I've been able to pick up so far. Meanwhile, as Sheldon was helping Leonard get into Penny's group, Penny's guest / friend group. Howard saw a pretty nurse, and he went up to talk to her, and of course Raj was eating a good and tasty mix of Chex Mix, and he offered one and he offered some of this good and awesome Chex Mix to Howard. But Howard is allergic to peanuts, and since he was dressed up in a very elaborate leotard, Peter Pan leotard / Robin leotard, he didn't want to have peanuts because he would obviously get an allergic reaction, and his other body parts, you know what I mean, his arrows downstairs, if you know what I mean, guys, by that, would get swollen. So Howard went up to the pretty nurse, and he tried very, very hard, but he didn't succeed to flirt with her. And he said, I really do have a microscopic heart arrhythmia, which is a very difficult heart condition to predict and treat, unless with good medication. It's the uncontrollable way of your heart beating. It can't. I don't know how technically to explain it, but that's how I'm gonna explain it. It's the way that your heartbeat can all of a sudden, out of the blue, start beating very fast and out of your chest. And that's how I'm going to explain it. Meanwhile, for Raj, since he was sitting on Penny's couch, he was eating his awesome Chex Mix until a tipsy ladybug said, "How wasted am I?" And since Raj couldn't activate his vocal hammer skills, he just smiled, and that's how Raj's rest of the night went. Then all of a sudden, Leonard and Sheldon see that Kurt has arrived at Penny's party, and believe it or not, in irony from my review of the first episode, meaning the title of the first of the review, my review of the first episode title, Kurt was dressed, or his costume was a caveman, and of course Sheldon was like, I think we should go because remember the last time we saw Kurt, he left us without our pants. Then Leonard was like, no, no, Sheldon. This is our space. We are the alpha. We are the alpha. We are the alpha. We are the alpha males in this case. We are the alpha males. This is our territory. We are dressed up. We are dressed up. We are dressed up. This is Halloween. Penny invited us, and this is our element because we are dressed up like, well, I'm dressed up as a person from Middle Earth, meaning a hobbit. You're dressed up as the Doppler effect, even though I wish you could say that you're a very tall zebra. And and Howard and Rod are dressed up as Thor, the original Thor, the original Norse god, not the MCU Thor, and Howard is dressed up as Peter Pan, but according to him, to impress Penny, he's Peter Pan, but according to Rod, he's Robin Hood. According to him, just by himself, he's Robin Hood, but just to impress Penny, to get the attention that Penny said, I'm Peter Pan. And Rod said that you look like Peter Pan. So, anyway, to keep it short, Leonard said, This is our space. For all we know, Penny didn't invite Kurt. Then Sheldon sees that Penny did invite Kurt by the way that she let Kurt play with her hair, meaning touch her hair. And then Leonard and Sheldon, with the backup of Sheldon, got into a two towers of a fight with Caveman Kurt, which ended up with Kurt picking up Leonard by his hobbit waist, and Leonard and Sheldon saying, I think we have overstayed our Rohan of a welcome, and I think we should go. Then Penny was like, okay, but she was like bummed out. She was like saying bummed out. Okay, I hope you guys had a great time. Then we see then Sheldon and Leonard get into their apartment, get into their home door, and we see, and then Leonard is sitting down on the couch. Don't worry, guys, not on Sheldon's spot, and he's kind of bummed out. Then in a moment of epic Sheldiness, of epic Sheldiness, unusual epic Sheldiness, Sheldon tries to console Leonard by saying they're there, giving him a cup of tea. Then, 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 then Sheldon says good night to Leonard, and I'm going to bed. Good night, Leonard. And Leonard saying, good night, Sheldon. Thanks for being understanding and being a good friend. Then Penny knocks on the door, and of course her costume is a black cat costume, but Leonard not knowing this, Penny's kind of tipsy, and she kisses Leonard pretty good, and then Leonard says, Penny, did you kiss me because you were tipsy and drunk, and you are a tipsy cat. You're a tipsy black cat? And he says, yes. And then Leonard says, why is Kurt at your party? Then Penny says, I accidentally bumped into him 2 weeks ago when I was at the supermarket, and he told me that he was a changed meathead, but I guess I was wrong. Then Penny was like, she started to cry, and she was like saying, I'm not, what is wrong with me, and all that kind of stuff. Then Leonard was like, Penny, you're perfect. Then Penny was like, you really think that, don't you, Leonard? And then Leonard nodded and shook his head and said yes, without saying a word. And that's when Penny gave him a big Bilbo of a kiss. And then again, Leonard said, like I reiterated, Leonard said or asked Penny, Penny, did you just kiss me because you are tipsy and happy drunk? And Penny was like, dang it, Leonard, you're right. You are so smart. Then Leonard was like, yes, I'm a freaking genius. Then Penny was like, why can't all the guys in the world be like you? Be like you, Leonard. And then Leonard was like, Penny, if all guys were like me, the world would become a fireball. But luckily for Leonard, when Penny gave him the kiss, Kurt saw Penny giving Leonard the Bilbo of a kiss, and of course, Leonard was like, "That's right, you saw what you saw. That's how we do it. That's how we do it in Middle Earth, and that's how this wonderful Halloween and boo of an episode of The Big Bang Theory ends." So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Remember to leave a like and let me know. Have you ever dressed up as as any MCU character or any kind of comic book character? If you were invited to a Halloween party, or if you ever attended a Halloween party, and second, did your group of friends dress up the same way as you, or did they dress up as something like Howard was supposed to be in Ramesh? So with that being said, thank you for watching. And Wakanda forever. Bye.